What's up, YouTube? So as you guys saw the title of today's video, my biggest trading day ever, 5K day across two accounts, across two funded accounts, not eval stage or anything, two funded accounts. I would like to get into this trade. I would not like to waste you guys' time. I hope you guys are able to gain insight from this trade. I'm just gonna walk you guys through my buys and everything, what made me take this trade, how much I banked and everything, and just executing properly, walk you guys through my psychology, things of that sort. So first we want to start off on the daily. I like to start off on the 4 hour on the daily. I like to have the daily on this side and then the 4 hour on this side. This is what's happening on the 4 hour on the daily. So we have the sweep up here. We tap into this daily inefficiency up here, this daily fair value gap, and then we tap into that daily fair value gap, and then we start to melt down. So we tap into that daily fair value gap and we start to melt down. We have this bearish close, super bearish close actually. On the weekly, we have this gap in price. So I highlighted it and I used my quadrant levels to mark that out. Back to the daily. We're inside of the daily. This is the close that we had recently. This was an AM session trade. I mean, an ASA session trade. If you guys are a bit confused. On the time that shows right here, I'm recording it like an hour after this trade hit, but this is the close that we had. So I'm going to scale down to the hourly. On the hourly, I see that we have this hourly fair value gap and we're moving in a bearish direction. So I see that we tap into this hourly fair value gap, no wicks on this previous candle, and then we closed bearish. This is the opening candle as well on the hourly. So once I see this, I'm like, okay, that looks really good, especially as we have no type of wicks or anything. Price is very easily telling us that, hey, I want to go lower. We also have this 15-minute gap that we work back into up here. Ooh, deep in the premium. So we have that. The market is just telling me it wants to go lower, right? We also have, back to the daily, we also have these lows that the market edged, that the market failed to take this first time, as you guys can see right here. We edged this, right? This was not taken. This low was not taken. The market edged it. So that's relative equal lows, right? And as you can see, the market is actually taking that right now, which I didn't target. I got out my trade early and I still was able to make good money. But we tap into that. So my job here as a trader is I'm looking at that gap. I don't really want to enter off that gap because I did get chopped up a little bit, and like I took a break-even trade like in here because I was looking for sales early, but it was too early, and then I realized, yo, it's a 15-minute gap above us. What am I doing? Close trade. It was like a $10 trade or something. Wasn't in the trade for too long, but this is what we're looking at right here. So we have this 5-minute gap that I've marked out. This is a 5-minute gap. I'm gonna give you guys a job here. I'm gonna ask you guys to show me where we close inside of this gap, because essentially you want to look at how we refer to gaps, inefficiencies, PD arrays, right, and things of that sort. So I want to see where we're closing after we're tapping into it. Are the wicks doing the damage? Or is the body closing too far? Is the body disrespecting this fair value gap? Things of that nature. Now we can still, close inside of it and things of that nature and still be bearish, right? But if we don't, that's super bearish, right? So here we wake into it. Wow, we still close bullish, and then we fall off, sweeping this liquidity. And then we come back, we tap it here, don't close in it, 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 don't close it. The wicks are just doing the damage. That looks pretty good. That looks very good, actually. But obviously, I didn't see all these candles before I entered my trade. I entered my trade right here. Once I saw that boom, 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 is failing to close inside of it, and I want to see this wick act as act to send us lower. So I want to measure this wick and I want to see it send us lower. As you guys can see, where do we tap into this wick and go lower? I mean, not go lower, but where do we refer to this wick's deviation levels? We tap it right here. We also tap it right here. So beautiful. This stuff works. I'm not making this stuff up. But where do I get my entry? That was enough yap for that. I just wanted to show you guys, like what bearish price action looks like and things of that sort. But where do I get my trade? I'm going to turn on execution so you guys can see. But I think I got my chart. Yes, it was in this candle. So I entered exactly at the 5-minute fair value gap, set stop right here, because in my eyes, if we take this out, we would be bullish. We would be bullish, and I just don't want to see that level taken out. Now, this is where psychology plays a role in just seeing money. When you haven't really seen money, it's hard for you to risk heavy. It's hard for you to do these things. Even though you're confident in your strategy, it's hard for you to do these things when you haven't really seen money, right? So I enter it in right there and I'm risking like $370 on this trade. I'd like to risk $500 on this trade, but since I was targeting such a high RR, is I better not risk as much, right? That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm being honest, which is okay, and I understand. I understand why I did that, but I just need to be able to be comfortable with risking $500 on a trade like this, right? Even if it is a higher RR, but risk 360. So imagine I would risk what I'm properly supposed to be risking, which is 500. This would probably been like a 4K trade, $4,000 day, or like 3.5. Um, which is insane because the most I've ever touched on a funded account is 2.1. So that just shows you 5K, like that's dope. That's insane. God truly is good. But as you guys can see, we start to rally lower off of this 5 minute fair value gap. I take a partial down here just because we're targeting such a huge move. I usually don't like to take partials because in my opinion it ruins data. Um, a lot of you guys don't have enough data to tell you your system actually works, and you guys take partials out of fear, like most of you guys. And I just didn't want to be that type of person. I want to take partials because I'm targeting a larger range like this, or number two, okay, I see the market's not really doing what I like to see it do. But a lot of you guys are just taking partials out of fear, and it's messing up with your stuff, right? Build your data, let yourself know, okay, what I have works, and then you can take partials, and then you can do those type of things. But we take a partial here for one, I want to say 1/3 of what we're in, and then we come back, we rally into this rejection block, and then we fall off here, banking us 2.5 on the day. So as you guys can see, we took that on two accounts: my Top Step account, my Top Step Express account, and then my Alpha Futures Standard Qualified. If you guys don't know the Standard Qualified accounts, it's not like Top Step or anything. You can withdraw everything. So you can withdraw 100% of what you actually, it's a 70% profit split, but they essentially let you withdraw everything, and then from there they take their 30%, which is great, which is super great, super good for me. And then I want to talk to you guys about my exit here. So a lot of people, right? A lot of people, they're looking at this low. They're looking at this low to be taken out, or they're looking at this low, this red line, right? Now me, I'm looking at this low. If you guys can see this low, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. I'm looking at this low right here. And why that low? Because it's a sell side level before we get into this wick, which is beautiful for me, and I want to see that smash. I want to see that taken. And then that's what we do. And as you guys can see, as soon as we take that, we go into like constant encroachment this week, and we rally up a bit. We still come back down because we're just that bearish. But a lot of times you guys need to be careful when we get into like areas like this, like wicks, especially as we're approaching December, where it's high resistance. It's a high resistance month. You want to be able to be exiting off like rejection blocks and wicks of levels. You don't want to target the actual draw or liquidity. You want to exit your trade early, and that's going to hurt a lot of you guys, but you just have to have that type of psychology, and you gain this type of things through data, through backtesting. This is where you learn. This is where you learn these type of stuff. And also, I was just up so much to where it's just like I'll essentially view myself as being greedy if I didn't. So I took that, and then yeah, we get this rally up. But yeah, that's the trade. I'm truly grateful. My account balance is sitting at a good amount. As I told you guys, I'm not hiding the account balance from you guys. I'm hiding it from myself because I don't want to look at that and then feel like I'm bigger than I am and get too puffed up and get humbled by the markets. That's happened too many times by me. So I feel as though just covering it, like I never flip it on. Like I have an idea of where my balance is at. I might be like $100 off or so, but that's all that matters. Like as long as I have an area of where it's at, especially when I'm like super over buffer, like I'm over $2,000. I probably shouldn't have said that because I'm trying to like keep things, but I'm over $2,000. Um, so yeah, that's that. I'll catch you guys in the next day. I just wanted to post this. I told you guys I'm only doing significant days. This was a significant day. It's my biggest trading day. But thank you guys for watching. God bless.